All right. Welcome back, you beautiful souls. This is the next episode in the series of What If I Became Cooler? So, this series is yeah, it is my first Dragon Ball What If, but this series is more so for me to get in used to saying particular names and keeping ideas fresh in my head for one series that I'm planning out. Those of you who have been on Discord for several months now would know what this series is, and you can even look in the different tabs of my Discord, um, and you'll know what it is. So, where we last left off, Bardock pretty brutally killed Goku. He didn't need to. Like, the initial plan was for Goku, what Kami had discussed with them, where Goku would be brought to the lookout. Well, because Yuka interfered, and this is why I put that up, because um, it would have changed Bardock, like how Bardock does the deed, because he already was distraught, when he found out that Goku would have to die to go, and it would be more beneficial for him. He was like, I'm going to be the one to kill him. I should be the one to do it. And because Yuka interfered, uh, it kind of, Bardock was a little pissed because he was already having a hard time resolving himself. And if this would have happened, it would have been just like Bardock walking up to his son and places a hand on his chest and then just blowing a hole straight through his chest, eviscerating his heart and most of his spinal column and most of his internal organs. In that moment, Bardock was having a hard time controlling his emotions, even though he's had years of training on Yardrat with spirit control and meditation. He was still doing something that is difficult for anyone that actually cares about their family. So that's why that situation happened. Some of you on Discord saw a little photo earlier. So I'm not going to go too much into the training, but we'll begin our story on Earth. So all the Z fighters are called and informed that in about a year and a half time, two Saiyans will be coming to the planet that aren't friendly like Bardock, Gine, and Yuka are in Goku. Because by this time, because you because Yuka, Bardock, and Gine being there, and Goku already knowing he's not human just because of the interactions that he's had with me in the past when he was a child, he's told his friends, and they know what Goku is. So they're a little freaked out by this, and Kami assures them that they will receive some training and they will get stronger. And Goku is in other world to train to deal with the bigger threat. But they should, within time, be able to increase their strength by a lot. And some of you on Discord, I gave a little taste of what's going to be happening. So on planet Yardrat, at first, Gohan and Chi-Chi are amazed by how many people that look like them. And Gine, once they get there, she's she turns to Chi-Chi and Gohan and she's like, I'm truly sorry about what Bardock did. It wasn't supposed to go down like that. He was going to be a lot lighter. But as she turns around, because they're they see Yuka walking up with an unconscious Raditz over her shoulder, and she's like, Mom. And Gine basically, like, kind of slaps her and says, You know what you did? Your father, he was having a hard time controlling himself with what he knew he was going to have to do to Kakarot. And Yuka apologizes, and Chi-Chi's like, I'm upset with your father. I'm upset with Bardock, but I understand. And then Chi-Chi sees, like, Gide, like, starting to fly and, like, actually letting loose a little bit. And after I would say about 2 months of Gine telling Chi-Chi that Gohan should, like, train, and Chi-Chi's against this, he has to study, she breaks it, like, Gine introduces her to some of, like, the scientists, like, the other Saiyans, which they're, a lot of the Saiyans have come by to, like, look at Gohan because, like, he's the first hybrid, like, he's, like, Bardock's grandson and everything. They're like, what kind of Saiyan is he? Is he like those brutes, or is he? And they're amazed because I would say Gohan did start playing with some of, like, the other children, like some of, like, the younger Yardratians and also some of, like, the younger Saiyans that are there. And the Saiyans have been told to not get too rough with Gohan because he is much, much weaker than anyone else on the planet, excluding, like, Chi-Chi and Bulma. And Bulma is just, she's good. We don't really have to spend too much time on Bulma because she is basically at the science guild, like, all the time because she's, like, superior tech to Earth. She wants to learn, like, she knows she's only going to be here at a maximum of a year, so she wants to learn as much as she can. And it was discussed that because of the interference that we have done with Goku, it could lead to the planet being at risk because of our actions. So we decided to, like, help out with their technology a little bit. But it would have to be man-made. Like, we wouldn't just hand them tech. They would have to build it themselves on their planet with, like, knowledge that they garnered. And me saying Bulma would be the best bet as far as, like, scientist goes because of what I know she could do. So about around the same time, like Bulma is, like, talking to a few of, like, the Saiyan scientists, and she's amazed about, like, how smart these people are, and then she brings up, it's like, why haven't you guys created something that can simulate gravity? And a few of them just look at her, like, kind of puzzled, and they're like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, this took a little bit, but the gravity on this planet, it's a little bit stronger than my world. And I thought, is like, why not? I've been thinking about it, but with your guys' level of tech, like, you should have been able to create artificial gravity. And a few of them, like one of the scientists kind of, like, face palms, and she's like, damn, we never thought about that. It would have made trading a lot easier. You wouldn't have to go to that, oh my god, that horrific planet. And Bulma, like, ears pipe up, and then they basically explain to her that there are two habitable worlds in their system. One has much, much greater gravity than, like, that has similar gravity to, like, their home world. And I would say Yardrat has about twice. I'm going to say Yardrat has, like, 2 times the gravity of Earth. So when Gine brought the 2 humans and Gohan to, like, the planet, they all did kind of fall a little bit, but, like, they were kind of helped up by, like, some of the Yardratians, and they it took them a couple weeks, but they did get used to like the increased weight, which does increase their power level. I would say, because I can't remember the official statements, I would have to go look, and I'm sorry I didn't look up this beforehand before I started recording. But I'm gonna say, Chi Chi, she was a little bit stronger than the average human. I would say she was like at a 14, and just from like just walking around and everything, and constantly like getting healed because of like her muscles and stuff tearing. And this is something that a few of the Yardratians would be showing off, and they would just constantly be getting like healed. And Gohan, he, like with his power level that I gave him, he would have been able to just acclimate to like the 2 times gravity very fast without any help. But Bulma, I would say Bulma's power level before she got to the planet was on the lower end of the average, so she was about a 7. I'd say like both her and Chi Chi would have gotten to like a 20, 25 just by walking around and just existing. Like they didn't do like extreme training, but just because of like their weight. So and Bulma was doing a lot more strenuous activity, like helping move some equipment and stuff, like in like the labs that she has. So she got more physical training than Chi Chi. Chi Chi's just been at Bardock and Guinea's house, and she's amazed at like how quaint it is. And so Guinea explains that they're like how they raise like the children of their planet now, that they train both their minds and their bodies. Like, and so Chi Chi, after about 2 months of Guinea kind of trying to convince her, she finally sees and she realizes that this like Gohan will get some training in, but she insinuates that she wants Gohan to like actually be a scholar. And Guinea is like, okay, well, that's your choice. You are his mother, after all. I'm just his grandma. And even though I want him to be a little bit stronger, it's up to you. And anyway, Saiyan children are allowed to choose like the path that they want to take. If the boy wants to train more, he can train more. If he wants to learn more, he can learn more intellectual things. We don't force our children anymore to do one thing or the other. We do kind of insinuate that they should have a little bit of both, so that they're not mindless brutes like the rest of our ilk was. And that sentence there is like pretty much like what truly convinced Chi Chi, and even Chi Chi, like seeing like how happy Gohan is, like having friends his age, and also him coming back to like his grandparents' house. Like Gohan is just having the time of his life during this, because he has people that kind of look like him, because he has his tail and everything, and he has he has kids around his age that he's able to play with and not have to like hold back in like some of the more physical things, because he's been scared to like hurt other people because of how much stronger he is than them. So Gohan, he will train a little bit. He'll be taught like some meditations. And then I would say about 2.5 months in, 3 months, Bulma and the scientists finally are able to create like a gravity room. And Bardock is amazed by this, and he even thought about it, because he had been thinking about ways to like gravity, but he never thought about it, because after like Vampa was there, like they finally had like a place they could train that would have the same gravity as their home planet. And then Bardock could always go to like planets that he knew that had really high gravities to train because of instant transmission. But he was kind of stuck there, like dealing with everything. He never really had much time to like visit the scientists to really discuss this. Because Bardock, like I said, he's a fusion of Z. He's a fusion of the Bardock special and minus. Like he was a scientist before, but he also has that he was that ruthless Saiyan that we knew Bardock from the special to be. And even in that, you could see towards the end, before he transformed into a Super Saiyan, that he, like, even in the special, it was shown that Bardock was a different kind of Saiyan. Because it took years for Vegeta to get to that point. And it took Bardock, like, not that much of a time to, like, kind of give up on his more aggressive tendencies, not fully, but enough to where he actually started caring, about that plant, that planet plant child, um, which I don't think even Vegeta like started caring about like other people besides Bulma and his son until like towards the end of Z, like the Buu Saga area. Because we've always known Vegeta liked Bulma. We've always known he liked his son, but he never really showed it too much. And the only other person outside of his own family that even cared to like, he even remotely had any inclinations about like actually caring was Kakarot. But that was more of like a rivalry thing. Like he was seen to be like more uncaring towards like the general people. So that being said, back to her story. So they like, and with the tech that the Saiyans have and have been able to like make, like this gravity room goes far above like what she initially was able to make, like on their planet. Now, mind you, they didn't have that much time, so. But this begins to think, like, and so at the 5 month mark, like some of the Saiyans have like not gone to Vampa, like they started using gravity chambers, like a few, like they were like kind of mass produced, and Bulma like teaches them how to like make capsules, and they're amazed at this technology. They're like, "Whoa, we never thought about this." So they were doing like a technology exchange. Like Bulma would teach them things that her company and everything were able to develop, and she would gain some knowledge to like take back to Earth to like build profits up for Capsule Course, of course. So about the 5 month mark, Bulma like asked, like, because I would say she is staying with Bardock at their house, like Bardock and Guinea at their house, and this is where I'm going to bring something up. Many of you asked me, like, I put out a poll. I think I put it. No, I put it out after. Yeah, because it's only been a couple hours, and this video, the previous video was out for a few days. So I put out a poll of who Yuka should get with. Like, I narrowed it down to 2 people, and I honestly really couldn't decide on like these 2, so I let you viewers do it because we had 2 candidates. I thought about it, and some people would have probably wanted me to have her get with Tien, but I thought about it and it's like it really wouldn't make sense. And the only 2 people that I could think of, like one of them will provide a lot of comic relief for future events, and one of them, like for me, just would have made like more sense because of their personalities, and that was 17 and Yuka. Like they pretty much have similar personalities. Like 17, he like, and we're talking like super personalities. In that relationship, like it would be sometime in between Z and Super that her and 17 would have gotten together. But then The other candidate was Tarbell, Vegeta's brother. Remember when remember when I said that I'll bring back all kind-hearted Saiyans that died on planet Vegeta? Like, I kind of missaid, and someone pointed this out to me. It's like the way you worded it would have brought a particular person, and quite frankly, I honestly forgot about Tarbell. I truly did forget, like, Tarbell was a thing, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. So, but in any case, I would have been, like, because I did have plans to, like, actually, me or Bardock just go get Tarbell. And this was before he had any ties. He was married. So, but Tarbell did have, like, some friends on, like, that planet. So we assured him that he would be able to come back and forth, and we'll teach him a way to, like, we'll teach him a way to be able to travel and everything, so he can still protect the planet, because he still did become, like, the quasi protector of that planet. But so we're all sitting down, and then someone pops up, and Yuka just jumps up and, like, latches onto this person, and she's like, Tarbell, you're back. Yes, sorry. There's a few things I had to deal with, and I there's someone that tried to get with me, if you know what I mean. And Yuka kind of punches this guy in the chest, and he goes, Yuka, like, yeah, they came on to me, but, like, you're the person I you're the person I choose for my mate. And Yuka just kind of smacks it again. And Tarbell just gets, like, flustered. And Chi-Chi's like, oh, so you have a boyfriend. And Yuka then begins to, like, blush. And Gohan runs up to this guy and is like, so what's your name, sir? I'm Gohan. And the guy looks down and he's like, oh, you're Yuka's nephew. She's told me a lot about you. You're going to be a scholar, right? And Gohan is like, yeah, but after the past couple of months, I kind of want to trade. I mean, Grandma, she's really, really strong, but she's not a fighter, and, well, all the scientists on the planet, like, they're strong too, but they're not fighters, so I thought maybe I could do both. And Chi-Chi just kind of rolls her eyes, and she's like, another Goku. But not really, because Gohan, he's going to be a scholar. He's going to be much smarter, and he has picked up a few tricks, like a few of the others, like a few of the Saiyan children and the Yardratians, like when they were playing started to fly, and Gohan's like, that no fair. And, like, they come back down and they say, what's wrong? And Gohan told them that he doesn't know how to fly, so they taught him how to fly. So that in itself did increase his power level a little bit. Like I said, Gohan, he's not really training, but he's been playing with the children, and just through Saiyan physiology, he's gotten a few minor Zenkai boost, and just with him learning, like, the things about calming your mind, like how they explained it, Gohan spends like 30 minutes a day just kind of meditating a little bit. So he gets a little training. It's not brutal training like he went with Piccolo. And then that brings up our elephant in the room. So after they get done, there's a knock at the door, and Chi-Chi, like, goes up to get, and then Gine says, no, you're a guest in this home. You just relax, Chi-Chi. It's my home, and, well, I should be the one to answer the door. And she opens the door, she's like, oh, Piccolo, what do we owe? Like, shouldn't you be with Master Barbara? And Piccolo says, well, yeah, once I came out of the room, I sensed familiar keys, and I was wondering what was going on. And I also ran into Bulma, and she explained that Gohan and Chi-Chi were here as well, and, well, I wanted to come over and say hi. And I also learned that Earth is going to be facing a threat, and I was wondering if I could go back. And she's like, well, Bardock has to give you the go ahead. It is kind of his thing. Him and Cryo have been working on. Piccolo is like, yes, of course, Gine. Well, sorry for the intrusion. I'm going to go to my place tonight. Seems like you have a lot of guests. And then he sees it and he's like, oh, Tarble, you're here too. Good. That means I can actually get some real training, some physical sparring training in. This lot doesn't like fighting with me. And Tarble's like, yeah, just, how about tomorrow afternoon? And I've got to leave, like, in 2 days. There's a few things that we're working on like, my planet. And Piccolo's like, definitely. So, at this time, I'm going to flip this over now. Because now we're going to get into the Saiyans arriving and what doesn't really need to be let go over. So, Kami, so after Bulma, she'll basically say goodbye to, like, some of the friends she's made. And she's even given, like, a few things, like, to help her build, like, the gravity chamber on Earth. Because she's thinking if this threat's coming, like, maybe this will be able to help out the Z Fighters. And she did get approval to like, actually take some tech, because she did actually physically make it herself. So, like, the leaders of the planet was like, yeah, we can get away with this. It's not breaking any of our laws if you're allowed to take a couple of things that you've been able to make yourself. But you can't take any of, like, the higher tech. So, she will be bringing, like, a gravity chamber that is in a capsule. Like a couple. And so, when Piccolo arrives, he's initially at like 110,000, and he's going to trade a little bit in the gravity room. He's not going to get too much, but he's more so, he basically flat out tells the humans that he's not going to interfere with this threat, because he's been assured that if things come down to it, like, Goku, like, after his training, will definitely be able to handle this. I'm sorry about that. So, the humans will have access to the gravity chamber. So, Krillin will still remain the strongest human, and his power level after, like, gravity room training and the training that he received from Kami will be at 10k, and followed up by Tien at 8k, and Yamcha will be at 7k. Now, Chaozu, he's never really been a fighter, but his psychic abilities are where he excels at. That's why I have his power level at 3k plus. But once we get towards the end of the Namek Saga and the events that will happen there, these numbers really don't mean too much. Like, once we get into Super, like, at the end, in, like, the Android Saga and Cell and everything, these power levels, it comes to a point where you can't, like, quantify the power realistically. So Piccolo is sitting at like at the end of the training will be sitting at a comfortable 120k because he won't train too much. Just like in canon, he spends a lot of time like meditating and like doing introspective work. And he does sense like he has been able to sense out these two people because he spends his time there on the lookout, and Kami like pesters him about like Kami sees that Piccolo really has changed, and he's been gone for at least 2 years now. That's why he's so much stronger. Like, he's learned a lot from the Yardratians. And he's learned the instant transmission technique, and he's learned how to heal. And he was tapping on getting a handle on the multiform technique. And then this force spirit vision, I don't think, because of the restructuring of how they operate things on Yardrat, I feel that would be the technique that they would like Master Paibara and also a couple of his other students like Gine, Bardock, and Broly. If they knew it, it wouldn't be something that they would regularly teach anyone. So, that being said, Piccolo doesn't know that, but he knows he, after spending 2 years pretty much all the time with Paibara, he would know there are many different, like all the different techniques. And I think him learning the multiform, multiform, it wouldn't have been that hard for him. That would probably, like, honestly, I think that would have been like the first technique he picked up on, just because of how similar it is with the, well, no, it's duplication. With the duplication technique, because it's just an upgraded version of a form he already knew. So he would have been able to grasp that like very easy. And then he would have learned like the instant transmission so he can travel. And he would have picked up healing because he thought about it. This Piccolo's changed quite a bit. Being on a planet that a lot of people can just freaking end you at any moment if they got it. Plus, with the changes that he already went through, we're seeing more of a more of like end of Z, beginning of Super Piccolo, like as far as personality goes. And he does have that. He has like a big brother slash father type relationship with Gohan in this. And so the humans will use the gravity chamber, so they'll reach these levels. And then you see Goku at 18k. Now, because Goku was already that much stronger, he was able to make it to King Kai's planet. And just like he will gain a lot more power, and he will learn the Kaioken, but King Kai will say that that form that you have, Goku, it's much better than like the Kaioken. And Goku would have pestered him to learn it, so he would have at least like a Kaioken times 1. So he will be able to like increase his power by like twice. So he would like using this power level of 18,000. He'll be at like a 36,000. But then he can go into his Uzaru evolution form and reach a power level of 180k. And Goku is like he was super motivated in this. That's why his power has skyrocketed. He gets to King Kai's planet a lot sooner. He doesn't really stop. Because again, with him already having a higher power level to begin with before he initially would have done this in canon, he's able to make it through Snake Way a lot faster. So he gets a few more months of training under King Kai than he does in canon. And so he's going to be sitting at a good 18k when he's in his base. And people are going to be upset about this, but it's more so just so a few things can happen. So the day comes, and Vegeta and Nappa arrive. Like in canon, King Kai forgot the thing, and then Goku's like, King Kai, I should be able to get there soon. So he makes his way back down Snake Way. This time he is going because he basically goes into his mastered Uzaru evolution form, which he's like, Sis is going to be so impressed with this. I finally think I gotten stronger than her. So Goku, he has like a power level of 180k right now, and he just doesn't. I would say it only takes him like a few minutes to get back down the Snake Way. He meets up with Kami. He's able to get there. Like, he's able to get back to Earth, like, just as the Saiyans are, like, landing. And he senses them, and he's like, well, this should be fun. And he's thinking, it's like, well, I have the Kaioken, so I can use that in the fight, but if it came down to it, I can use that form, and he smacks himself, and he's like, in any case, this is going to be a fun fight. And so he goes down to he goes down to see Korin to get a few sensu beans, because he's going to let his friends have their fun. He can already sense like they've gotten stronger, and he is like, good. So I would imagine about 7 months of gravity room training for the Z Fighters. They would have gotten these powers, so yeah. Plus, they have the portable gravity chamber up there on the lookout. So, Bulma's father, these past several months, is just amazed about, like, what his daughter was able to accomplish, and they do increase. And Bardock pointed out that she should probably because Goku is really the reason why she was able to come here, just because she was a friend of him. And Bulma in this would know that the Sun family aren't like that well off. Like, they do have a little bit of money just because of Goku's tournament and like the farming business that they have. She talked with Chi-Chi before she left them on Yardrat, and explained that with some of the advancements that that she's going to be able to do, she's going to give her family some royalties on it, because if it wasn't for them, she wouldn't have been able to learn all these different types of technology and how to do some things. Chi-Chi is amazed by this, and then she says, why would you do that? And Bulma then says, well, if Goku, if he's going to be the protector of the planet, it would be better if he's able to train more, and I figured it would give you better peace of mind, Chi-Chi. So that would happen. Like, the Sun family won't be super rich like Bulma and her family and her and Dr. Brief's family. So they'd be a little bit better off. Like, Goku won't have to work as much, but he still will do it, just because Chi-Chi wanting her son not to see that adults are supposed to be responsible, kind of thing, which Gohan will already develop those characteristics because of Bardock, but that's neither here nor now. So back to it. Like in canon, like, the Saiyans land in the city, and before they can blow up the city, like Goku basically comes in and he tells them, if you guys want to fight, follow me. And he leads them to like the wastelands, and everybody is there, and he's just standing there. The thing with the Cybermen happened. Hell, Chaozu's like it just walks up, puts a hand up, freezes all of them, and then Tien just like shoots him, and Nappa's like, what the hell? The little one, Vegeta, he's a psychic. And he goes to attack, and the Goku's just looking, and he's like, that's pretty cool. So then Vegeta steps up, and Vegeta's standing there and everything. And he's like, Nappa, you're useless. And he goes to like kill him after, because I would say he went full power and was able to like overpower Chaozu and Yamcha and got a good lucky hit on Tien, and then Krillin stepped up to him and kind of knocking down a few pegs. Because when Goku flexed his powers, like when he was coming in, like their scouters reached up to like to a bit. Their scouters basically were like on the fritz a little bit because of all they sensed like the power levels of concentration after like Goku stopped them before. And so Vegeta walks up and he's like, and he goes to kill Nappa, but this is when Goku just steps in and basically blocks the beam, and he just looks at Vegeta and he's like, Vegeta, was it? You're way stronger than my brother and this guy here. And he basically tosses the unconscious Nappa to like Piccolo, and he's like, Piccolo, you think you can keep this one under control? Piccolo just kind of nods, because Piccolo like got there a little late because he sensed like their power, and he was a little scared. He thought he may have to get into it, but then he realizes that Goku's gotten strong, and then he's like, damn it, with his level of power, he should be able to match my strength. Because I would say Goku's limiting his power to about 12, 13k, and Vegeta registered all their powers, and he's amazed at like Earthlings, and like a low class can even like surpass like Nappa, like, which is why he was about to kill Nappa. And he tells Vegeta, like Goku says, if you want to survive this, Vegeta, you better go to your max power. So he goes up to 18k, and both Piccolo and Goku are amazed by this, but they're not too much impressed. And Piccolo's like, so he was stronger. And Piccolo's like, hey Goku, do you want me to handle this one? And Goku cracks his neck, and he's like, this should be a good sparring match. Also, Piccolo, after this, me and you are gonna have our rematch. I gotta get you for that blow like last time. And they kind of smile, and Vegeta's just fuming at this point. He's getting angry, and it's like, why you little? And he comes in to attack Goku. Goku powers up, and Vegeta's scouter kind of blows up. He's like, so how are we going to do this? Are we going to Ki Blast, or are we going to do some physical fight? Vegeta says, fuck you! And like, shoots Ki Blast at Goku, and he's like, okay, Ki Blast. And they have their fight. Goku and Vegeta realize they're pretty much even. And then, like, Vegeta, like, gets beat down, and he's like, frick! So he flies up, and then because he's looking for the moon and he finds it, he begins to transform. He's like, Kakarot. I bet you can't even control yourself in the Lazara form. Goku just looks up at him and he's like, well, hey, Piccolo, you've been with my dad a little bit. I don't want to go look at the moon. Can you create the thingy? Can you do the thingy he just did? Can you do like the thingy that my dad that I was doing yet? Piccolo just kind of scoffs at him and he's like, damn Kakarot. What is he up to? And then he's like, whatever, Kakarot. But if you can't handle this, I'm going to end him. So Piccolo creates a power ball and just throws it up into the air. And Goku looks at it and he transforms into the Zaru. And he's like, Vegeta, you said that low-caste can't control their form. But what you failed to do is something that I learned from my family. You see, this isn't the extent to this form. Did you ever think about condensing this power or going back into your base at will? As Goku transforms back into his base, and then he just stares at Vegeta, and Vegeta's like, Kakarot, I'm pissed that you're able to do something that only elites are supposed to do. And then Goku looks at him and he's like, and that's not even it, Vegeta. With his eyes closed, he powers up into the form. And Vegeta's just like, oh. And he goes, I'll give you one chance, Vegeta. Leave this planet or you will die here today. Vegeta comes in for a punch. Goku, with his smaller body, he is able to block the punch, but Vegeta notices that there's no decrease in power, and he's matching him. And then Goku's like, you shouldn't have... Vegeta, you are strong, but Goku is able to get around, and he basically grabs onto his tail and rips it off. Vegeta de-transform, and he says, I kind of lied to you, Vegeta. I'll give you one chance. Leave my planet and I'll let you live. Just know, there are powers out there that can beat. There are other Saiyans out there, and you were defeated by a low-class warrior. So the reason why Vegeta and Namek came here, because they heard that Raditz's brother, through the Scouters before it blew up, that was outclassing Raditz. So Vegeta, just like in canon, goes on, Krillin, was going to kill him, but Goku stopped him and he said, Krillin, I said he could go. Don't make me a liar. Any case. So Vegeta goes off. That all will happen in canon. Frieza would have known about the Dragon Balls, and then after learning what happened with Vegeta, he would say he wants to go just to be safe. He's fairly certain he can beat this Goku guy or Kakarot fellow, but just to be safe, he wants to go get his immortality. Because if I didn't say it, they would have brought up the Dragon Balls at some point. I'm sorry I didn't bring that up, but it was brought up. So just to be safe, they go to Planet Namek, and the events of that will happen. Now, the reason the humans go because I had told the Namekians that we, as far as now, unless your planet is in extreme danger, we won't interfere. You would have to figure out a way to solve it yourself. We've given you the gifts to be able to do this, but so they so the events happen. Guru contacts Kami, and Kami informs like the Z fighters. They try to get us to like help them go there, and even Piccolo is like, "I'm sorry, I can't do that, guys. I promised I wouldn't interfere too much. I've only came back here just to see the old man, and I still have some training I need to do. Matter of fact, I actually have to get going, Goku." And this is after their sparring match, and he says, "Goku, thank you for the match. I promise I'll get stronger. And keep training that form of yours. Yuka was right." "So you figured it out. Yuka is going to be pleased about your progress, Kakarot, or Goku." So they do. So Piccolo bid his farewell to go back to Yardrat to finish his spirit control training. And after explaining to Kami what's going on, he tells them that he contacts the Z Fighters, and they basically start getting ready to go off and thing. Bulma tells them that she'll have a ship ready for them in like 2 weeks. She'll have one ready, combined with what she was able to bring back and Goku's old pod, and also Kami's ship. She sees it and she's like, "Oh, this is junk," and she basically cannibalizes. No, it isn't Goku's pod. It was Raditz's pod, because his pod would still be there. So would Nappa's, and unlike in canon, she won't be pushing buttons and everything. Like randomly, she would know what to push to like get it to move and everything. So it gets transported. They have Raditz's pod, and they also have Nappa's pod. Now, Nappa, like, this is why Piccolo. This was the true reason why Piccolo was there, because Nappa was supposed to die, but he's going to be brought back. First, he pops into Yardrat, and then he sees, like, he appears in front of Bardock. Bardock sees, like, the older Saiyan. And by this time, they do have, like, certain facilities to be able to contain the more rowdy Saiyans. So, when Nappa comes to, like, the situation explained, and he's amazed that there's other Saiyans, and then Bardock shows it, and Nappa's like, "That's Super Saiyan. We can take revenge on Frieza now. Bardock, why haven't you?" And Bardock then says, That's in the past, Nappa. We Saiyans here have found a better way to live. We can get stronger. And if you agree to, like, give up on this path of revenge, which only leads down to pain and suffering, you will learn this power for yourself. Nappa thinks about it. This will take several months, and also Raditz is there. With Raditz, he's gotten a lot stronger than what he was in canon. Hell, he's gotten stronger than what Goku was. And I would say after about 6 months on planet Vampa, like, Raditz comes and he's there with he's had some interactions with Chi-Chi and Gohan. At first they were scared, but then Raditz kind of bows and he says,
Sister and nephew, I'm sorry for my actions on your planet. Please forgive me.
Because he's not entirely a good guy, but he was basically strong-armed into it by his mother and father to, like, apologize to his brother's mate and his nephew. And it was more so Yuka that caused this change, because even though she she cares a lot about her family, and she gets that from her mother and a little bit from her dad. So all that will transpire. The humans are going to be going to planet Namek to, like, help them out. They're a little pissed off at, like, Piccolo, but Piccolo says,
I'm sorry, I really can't. That was one of the conditions of me being able to come back before my training was complete. I'm really sorry, guys, but I honestly can't help you get there. Hell, I don't even know where it's at.
So that's Piccolo's got off with that to finish up his training. So they'll be going, but before they go, before, like, they finish the ship, like, Goku asks, like, hey, Bulma, could you put one of those, things call it? The thing that they use to train for the Saiyans, the gravity chamber thing in there. And then she's like, yeah, Goku, that wouldn't be that too hard. So she creates a room so that they can get a little bit of training. And it does, like in canon, it will take them a week to get there, like in canon, like it did Goku. But they will receive a bigger power boost. And I'll go over power, like the Namek Saga, like a few other YouTubers, will probably be like the last one where I will do power levels. And this is pretty much where I'm going to be ending this. So that being said, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think about this part down below, and I will see you beautiful souls in the next video.